Hey there, today we're working on basic two-step equations. So it should take 2 steps to get that variable alone. So you can see here on number 1, we're trying to get n alone. N's not alone because of the 9 and the -4. Now, although technically you can do anything you want to either side of the equation, it's always going to be easiest on you if you add or subtract first and then divide, because then you're waiting to create fractions at the end. So like here, to get rid of this -4, we would add 4 to both sides. Because remember, what you do to one side, you also have to do to the other. That cancels out the -4, giving us 9n equals 77 plus 4 would be 81. So you can see that's one step. Now this is going to require a second step. N is not alone yet. 9n means 9 times n. So to get rid of this multiply by 9, we're going to divide both sides by 9. So when we divide both sides by 9, we find out that n equals 81 divided by 9 would be 9. So these are our basic two-step equations. It's going to take 2 steps. Number 2, x is not alone. So first, to get x alone, to get rid of a plus 4, we would subtract 4. What we do on one side, we have to do on the other side. 4 minus 4 cancels. So we have our 8x equals -116 minus 4 would be -120. X is not alone yet. X is being multiplied by 8. So to get rid of a multiply by 8, we would divide both sides by 8. So since these are two-step equations, you should have 2 steps of work for each one here. So x equals, I know a negative divided by a positive is going to be a negative. If you don't know what 120 divided by 8 is, you could just go to your handy-dandy calculator and find out that it is 15. So x equals -15. All right, same thing on this guy. X is not alone, right? I want to get rid of the plus 3. So to get rid of a plus 3, I would subtract 3 on both sides. The 3 minus 3 cancels. -21 minus 3 would be -24. Other side, I have 2x. X is not alone yet. X is being multiplied by 2. So to get rid of that multiply by 2, we would divide both sides by 2. So the 2 over 2 cancels. So I have x alone on the right. Remember, it doesn't matter which side you get x alone on. And -24 divided by 2 would give you the -12. All right, so let's go ahead and look at some of the ones on the other page. So here, looking at number 7, b is not alone. We've got a 1 here. There's not a sign in front of 1, so we know that the 1 is positive. So to move a positive 1, we would subtract 1 on both sides. So now we're looking at negative b, because that negative in front of b didn't go anywhere, equals 15 minus 1 would be 14. b is not alone because there's a negative in front of it. Remember, there's an invisible 1 there. So negative b really means -1 times b. So we would divide both sides by -1. So the negative cancels out in front of b, and b equals 14 divided by -1 would be -14. All right, let's look here. -45 equals 2n minus 9. N is not alone because of the -9. So to move a -9, we would add 9 on both sides, right? What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So the -45 plus 9, I would be careful here, right? I would probably go to my calculator if I was you, do -45 plus 9, right, to get -36. I know some of us really struggle with adding and subtracting positives and negatives, so don't be ashamed to use your calculator. On this side, we still have the 2n. So n is not alone. N is being multiplied by 2. So to get rid of a multiply by 2, we would divide both sides by 2. So n equals -36 divided by 2 is -18. We'll go ahead and look at this last one here. Why not? So x is not alone yet. You have this -3 out front. So to move this -3, we would add 3 to both sides. What you do to the left, you have to do to the right. Remember, the left and the right are determined by the equal sign. So -3 plus 3 is 0, so that's gone. So I have -8x equals 141 plus 3 would be 144. So x is not alone. He's being multiplied by -8. So to get rid of a multiply by -8, we would divide both sides by -8. So the -8 over -8 cancels. We get x equals, I would probably go to my calculator, right? 144 divided by -8 is negative 18. It's better to use your calculator and make sure than to make a silly mistake and then end up getting it wrong. So that is how you solve basic two-step equations. Take care.